Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to do a dihybrid cross. What we've been doing is monohybrid cross. We've been dealing with one trait, Punnett squares with only one trait. Today I'm going to show you how to do Punnett square with two traits. So make sure you're paying attention to this video, and if you have to pause me if I'm going too fast or to rewind, don't hesitate to do that. Okay, so here they give you the key. It says in rabbits, gray hair is dominant to white hair. So the big G's are dominant for gray hair. The little G's are recessive for white hair. Also in rabbits, black eyes are dominant to red eyes. So big B's represented black eyes, little B's represented by red eyes. These letters represent the genotypes of the rabbits, as shown here. What are the phenotypes, the physical? So they give you the geno here. They want you to write the phenotype. So let's look. Big G is gray, according to our key. So you're going to write gray hair. Gray hair. Then little b is represented by the recessive trait for red eyes. So it'd be gray hair, red eyes. Okay? So that's going to be the first one. I want you to do the next three on your own. Remember, you can pause this video. Now I'm going to go over number 2. A male rabbit with a genotype homozygous dominant G and homozygous recessive B is crossed with a female rabbit with the genotype homozygous recessive G, heterozygous B. The square is set up below. Fill it out and determine the phenotypes and proportions in the offspring. Okay, so here is your square. They've already done the parents for you. I'll show you how to do that later. Right now I'm going to show you how to make the square, to write the square. There's 16 squares if you want to count them. But it's the same thing like we do with the regular Punnett square, except you're going to keep the G's together and the B's together. Okay? You don't want to separate them. So you're going to drop them in. And when you drop them in, you keep the G's together. And you put the big trait first. Okay? So in this case, there's a big G. So I'm going to put big G, little G. So big G, little G here. Keep the G's together. Then we're going to keep the B's together. So there's a big B on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and put the big B first. And then they'll drop the little B in next. And in this case only, all these are going to be the same. Because if you notice, all of them have this. And all of them have big G, little b. So they're all going to be big G, little b, big B, little b. Big G, little g, big B, little b. Big G, little g, big B, little b. Okay? Let's do the next row. Same thing. Okay? In this case, we get to copy it because it's all the same. Big G, little g, big B, little b, big G, little g, big B, little b, big G, little g, big B, little b, big G, little g, big B, little b. Whew. Okay, halfway done. Now it changes a little bit. In this case, instead of having a little g, big B, it's a little g, little b. So we still have our big G's in all of them. So big G first, little g second. But now there's two little b's that we're dropping in. And then this will be the same all the way across. Big G, little b, little b. Big B, big G, little b, little b. Big G, little b, little b. Okay? We're keeping the G's together and the B's together. And if there's a big trait, we're putting the big trait first. Okay? So in this case, the big G would go first. And the little g would go second. But since there's no big B, we're just putting little b, little b's. But we're keeping the G's next to each other and the B's next to each other. We don't want to separate them, okay? Because that's harder to count. And I'm going to show you why right now. So now it says, how many out of 16 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 squares have gray and black fur, or black eyes. Gray fur and black eyes. So let's look. Gray is represented, let's look at our key. Gray is represented by big G, at least one big G, this one or this one. And then black is represented by at least one big B, this one or that one. So let's count. How many are gray and black? This gray and black? Yes, because it has big G, big B. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Big G, big B. 5, 6, 7, 8. These don't count because they all have a big G, but they do not have a big B. They only have little B's. So this would not be considered gray and black. It'd actually be considered gray and red. So 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 16 of these offspring have gray and black fur. And on the STAR test, they're not going to tell you 8 out of 16. They're going to make you reduce it. Okay, so we're going to divide both sides by 8, top and bottom. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So 1/2. So half of the offspring will have a chance of being gray and black. Gray fur and black eyes. Okay? Now let's try the next one. How many out of 16 have gray fur and red eyes? So let's look. Gray and red. So big G represents gray. So we have all big G's here. And little b represents red. And all these have big G, little b. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 8 out of 16 are gray and red. Gray fur, red eyes. So we're going to reduce that, divide by 8 to the top, and then whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So it's another one. Half of the offspring could be gray fur and red eyes. The other half of the offspring could be gray fur and black eyes. They have a 50% chance. What about white fur? Are there any with white fur? Any that have little g? No. So it would be 0 that are white and black and 0 that are white and red. So 0 out of 16 will give us 0. 0 out of 16 will give us 0. Okay, so I did the first one with you. I want you to go ahead and do the second one by yourselves. You're welcome to pause this video. Now I'm going to show you how to put the parents, okay? So I showed you how to do the genotype by reading the question. We're still doing it with the same key. Now I'm going to show you how to put the parents. So you're going to put parent 1, this is parent 1, on top, just like we do in the regular squares. And this is parent 2. Parent 2 we're going to put it on the side, just like we do in the regular squares, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and write parent 1 right here. Hopefully you can see. It's little g, big B, little b. That's parent 1. And they do a cross with big G, big B, little b. Okay, big B, little b. So these are our parents, and we're going to put parent 1 at the top. So in order to do this, you have to remember to be happy. Let me show you. Happy. Eyebrow, nose, mouth. Okay, that's what you need to do. So the first eyebrow, little g, big B, you're going to write in the first top. Little g, big B. Second eyebrow, little b, little g, little b, little g, show you little g, little b. So now we're going to put little g, little b. That's the second one. The nose, little g, big B, little g, big B. And then last but not least, the outer, the mouth. In this case, it's little g, little b. So we'll write little g, little b. Okay, and if you got confused, please don't hesitate to rewind to make sure you got this, because you need to do this on the STAR test. Okay, let's try again. Eyebrow, big G, big B. Parent 2, remember, goes on the side. Eyebrow, big G, little b. So it's eyebrow, eyebrow, nose, big G, big B, and mouth, big G, little b. And that's it. So just remember eyebrow, eyebrow, nose, mouth. And if you're confused on how to get the parents, don't hesitate to rewind and rewatch. And also you can ask me. So now we have our parents. Now let's go ahead and do our offspring. Okay? Remember, we want to keep the G's together and the B's together. And if there's a big letter, we're going to put the big letter first, the dominant gene first. So here there's a big G, so I'll put the big G first, little g second. They're both big B's, so we're going to put big B, big B. Okay, next. Big G, little g. Big B first, then little b. Big B, little b. Big G, little g. Here's big G, little g. Big B, big B. We're keeping the G's together and the B's together. This one would be big G, little g. Big B, little b. Okay, good job. Here, big G, little g. Big B, little b. Big G, little g. Little b, little b. Okay, little b, little b. You're just dropping them in. And then when you drop them in, you gotta make sure you put the G's, the same letters together. The G's, in this case, it would be G's and then B's. And then if there's a big trait, you want to put the dominant trait first, because it makes more sense when we're counting the traits, okay? Because the dominant trait is the phenotype that we could actually see. Okay? Almost done. Big G, little g. Big B, little b. Big G, little g. Big B, little b. Big G, little b, g. Little b, little b. In this case, two little b's. Big G, little g. Big B, little b. Big G, little g. Two little b's. Okay, we're done. Now I want you to try number 5 on your own. Just make sure to change this heterozygous into homozygous recessive. It's supposed to be little b, little b. So here they give you the genotype. After you read the problem, you're going to tell me the phenotype. What is big B dominant for? What is big N dominant for? What is little b recessive for? What is little n recessive for? Then after that, they give you the parents. Heterozygous for both traits. So for both of them are heterozygous. And then answer the Punnett square on your own. If you have any questions, you can rewatch the video or you can ask me.